This is pretty darn cool. They upgraded the old Extra 300 3D. This plane, I think, is one of the better microplanes that E-Flite has ever made. I really enjoyed flying this one, but now we've got the upgrade. This has been upgraded with the AS3X system. And so it's a much improved version of that older one there. And that older one there was an excellent plane. I still fly it. I've had it since the first day it came out. I don't know why it didn't sell better. I really don't understand why that one didn't sell better. But hopefully E-Flite will pick up some, better sales with this one. This one is really, really nice. Now, it does have the AS3X system. It has gyros on board that help keep it stable, and it auto adjusts in flight in order to deal with wind gusts and air pockets and stuff like that, which for a microplane makes a huge difference. Now, that old one wasn't unstable. It wasn't, terrifically hard to fly in the wind and stuff. In fact, it was surprisingly easy to fly in some wind that you wouldn't really expect to be able to handle at all with a tiny plane like that. This one is a little different than that. This airplane does not like really high airspeed. And so the AS3X system, in a way, it's kind of a drawback. And I know a lot of folks online are talking about, okay, how do I tone it down or turn it off or something? You really can't. So I'm going to kind of gloss over that a little bit. It's kind of a big deal. Overall, the plane flies really nicely. Let's open the box here and just take a look at the plane real quick. There it is. That's how it fits in the box. Very simple. I ordered just the basic version, and I've already flown this one, so let me just grab it here and show it off. First thing is, I did take off the wheel pants. One of them wasn't on there straight, and I just don't like wheel pants. So, took those off. There's the battery I'm using. This is the same one I used for like my Nano QX and other little stuff. Sport Cub. Very popular battery size right there. So here's just the basics of the airplane, I guess. So there's the gear drive for the propeller. It's a brush motor, but it's fine. Yeah, they wear out, but hell, that other plane hasn't worn out. Really, I mean, it's a little weaker than it used to be, but it's still working. So it uses those servos. There's two of those. Just a little look at the construction of it. Basic airplane. There's nothing real special here. It looks fragile, and it is extremely lightweight, but it's also flexible. So that's the thing. It's not super fragile because it has that flex. So if you're looking at this plane and you're not buying it because you think it's a little fragile, it's not. It's flexible. This one is basically the exact same airframe, right? And remember I said I've had this one since it came out. I've had it for that's like 4 years. I've got well over 100 flights, maybe 150 or 200 flights on this one. And look at it. My kid flew it right into a tree, and I'm not even sure where the damage is from that. I think it's just this little bit right here. So that's basically how it flies. It
When it gets a little airspeed going, it wiggles. But for basic flying around, it's pretty good. And it's just a lot of fun to bring it in slow and hover around and stuff. It's so stable. You know, for a little plane to be stable like that is pretty cool. Occasionally it does something wild like that doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's the gyros doing weird stuff, you know. I'm not real sure if I like the gyros and all that, but as far as how the plane flies, you know, that's pretty good for a little plane. It's easy to clear the traffic. But that wiggling is freaking weird sometimes. It only really does it when it starts to get some airspeed. But for just basic flying around in the front yard and practicing your 3D, it's a ton of fun. That wiggling gets a little annoying. But it is the wind doing that. When it's calm out, it doesn't do that so much.
So as you can see from the flight there, now it was a little gusty, and I think what happens is a gust of wind comes over it and it starts into that wobbling, right? And if it's really calm, it only ever really does that when you fly at full speed in level flight. It'll start doing that oscillating thing. So I do it a little bit of a disservice by flying it in gusty wind like that. But I think it's a good demo of, you know, that the plane can be flown in a little bit of wind. And it's just turbulent outside because the air is blowing over the house and then out through the yard. I did a good demonstration there of the problem, but if you keep the plane in the general flight mode and you fly slow, it's not such a big deal. You know, that wind out there is really gusty and turbulent, but the plane dealt with it okay. I mean, as you can see, I was having plenty of fun flying around out there. So that's what this plane is great for. It's a great little yard flyer, and it, you know, it deals with minor weather just fine. It 3Ds very well, better than I can. So there you go. Upgrade to the Extra 300.